We're down to the last two. Austria and China A will contest the final, both just one win away from the biggest title in Team 9-ball, the World Cup of Pool. Can China equal the record of 3 World Cup wins, or will Austria become the first side to retain the trophy? Here's a quick reminder of how each team reached the final, starting with the home side.
Well, their first break makes quite a loud statement. So, Estonia, how about this? 3-0 up on the home nation. Smash and grabber. So dramatic. Wu and Liu on a high in Shanghai, when so easily they could have been on an almighty low. China A carrying on in a winning vein.
What are we witnessing here?
And the Australians battle on. It's few for Wu and Liu. The prevailing emotion, total relief. China A could not have mailed in for a better start than they've made. Playing some beautiful pool. You get the feeling the final quarter-final could be the closest.
What a beast. What a shot. What a shot, given the circumstances.
But in the end, it was a Shanghai special. China A go through by the narrowest possible margin. You have to make Chinese Taipei favourite for this match.
It's a close one.
The composure, the skill, the accuracy. China A just keep bouncing back, do they not? What a performance from the top team of the host nation.
Race to 7 is nothing in the sport of pool.
The defending champions in deep early trouble. It is awesome from Austria. The title holders make the perfect start. They win 7 racks in succession. The battle of the Europeans. Poland lead the defending champions, the title holders in trouble. Austria showing lots of heart out for the second time this evening. We are going all the way to the wire. The hills are alive with the sound of celebration, Austrian celebration. Austria flying high, the defending champions determined to keep the title. Albin Ouschan has mixed emotions, a small smile on the face.
A win is a win, and they are going to be through to the semi-finals.
Yes, they've trebled up on the Dutch in the end. The Austrians are very patriotic, very confident, and very determined. But Ouschan nails it. What a fitting climax to a match that's had so much emotion. I am not surprised. The burden was indescribable. How are Austria in the final? We don't know. What we do know is that they're there.
It's Scotch doubles with the winner breaking. There's a 30-second shot clock with 1 extension per rack, and the final is a race to 10. China A won the lag, and your commentary team for the final are Ted Lerner, Alex Lely and Phil Yates.
Nothing falls. Lose break ineffective. Looks as though the 8 is blocking. Albin Ouschan and Mario He. Always prepared to chat, discuss, contemplate.
One thing these guys, Mario and Albin, are really good at is fighting it out in the trenches. They're the kind of team that, you know, doesn't mind going down into the gutter and duking it out.
Start the clock, please.
And having said that, China A has had some slogs themselves here and pulled out some miracle finishes. Wu Jiaqing. Now this is a push out. So China A can choose to shoot it or hand it back to Austria.
Without debate, Wu has been the better of the two players in the China A team. At times he's been inspirational. His safety shot, his snooker actually, in the deciding rack against Spain in the quarterfinals when they won 9-8, was simply outstanding. One of the shots of the tournament. And there's another snooker laid here. Well, 1 in 9 in close proximity.
Last year in the final against the United States, Austria looked like they were going to be on their way to defeat as the United States was playing really well, and then things turned right in the middle of the match on a bad call by Shane Van Boening and Skylar Woodward. And it was really one shot that turned the match, and Austria, once they got that finish line in sight, they were not to be denied. So they can pour it on.
They've looked at the possible reaction here. 1-9, no go. Well, they took the risk, Ted, and now I think they're going to pay the price.
So the one ball is on. 2 and 3 out there.
Well, already they've achieved something that's never been done before by making the final. When the Philippines returned to the final as champions, it wasn't the same pairing. These two should be proud of what they've already achieved, but they are not satisfied.
Well, the key for Austria is to not have those mental errors that crept into their game against China B. There were some missed pots, and they allowed China B to get into their comfort zone. And that's why it appeared that China B was well on their way to storming into an improbable finals. Right at the last second, down 8-5, they took advantage of a scratch by China B, and the fight back began.
Mario He overdid that there. Wanted to be straight pretty much on the orange 5 ball. So now traffic to be avoided. I think the ultimate result, and indeed the mistake from Wang Ming on the 9 ball, will make people forget that Mario He made a couple of howling mistakes in the semi-finals. Went in off the 8 ball in the 6th rack. Missed the 7 ball in the 8th rack. But now all of that's forgotten.
So you had one foot in the grave, the other was on a banana peel, and you survive. You're back in the finals, same partners as last year. You're defending your crown. I know we were going around the press room earlier, seeing who people thought would win. It just appears to me that that Austria has quite an advantage in the mental and emotional department. Skill-wise, it's even. They've been here and done it, and maybe it feels like destiny at this point.
Well, in the last rack we saw, the cue ball was tight on the side cushion, and a very easy 9 ball was missed. That was a kick, but it didn't affect the pot, thankfully for Austria, and thankfully for Albin Ouschan.
Poor positioning on the 2-ball after the break by Austria led to a surprise scratch by Albin Ouschan, gifting the table and the rack to China. This is now the third China to break.
Wasn't it just? Look at this, 1 in the middle, 2 also down, and even with that little nudge on the cue ball. Lovely on the 3, away they go. The 5 passes the 7 with ease. Just the kind of run out that these players dream of. Stress-free, or at least it should be.
Just amazing control of the cue ball.
Almost inevitable from the moment that Wu made the break. They lost the opening rack, did China A. They've won the next 2 though, and lead by a couple of racks to 1.
Welcome back to the World Cup of Pool final, where the host nation China currently lead the defending champions Austria 2 racks to 1. In the 4th, another break and run out by China saw them extend their lead to 2. We rejoin the action for the 5th. Commentary from Phil Yates, Alex Lely and Ted Lerner.
We're going to continue to shoot the 1 down and the 7. With a shot on the 2. Cut shot.
Yes, the little nudge with the 8 ball on the cue ball didn't really do China A any favours.
Going to put on his extension to reach to get it. Players would rather use an extension onto the cue, which is perfectly legal, then use the rest. Just got to make sure he doesn't foul.
Coming down that side of the table, which he had to do. He had to leave a thin cut on the 3. And of course the problem with that, he's going away from the 4.
Just brilliant cue ball control. He is a true master. Wu Jiaqing.
If you're just joining us for the final, you won't perhaps know that he created one of the great stories in pool history in 2005 when, as a 16-year-old, he completed the World 9 and World 8 ball championship double, would you believe? And he's showing that level of skill here this week. But even with Wu's skill, it's going to be tested now. Even with the shot clock beeps going off, Teddy can knock in the pressure balls.
Like it was nothing. That side pocket's very hard to pot a ball in from that angle. Look at this shot. Another tough one.
We're always looking for turning points. Is that one of them?
They did have an open table. They should have gotten out, but lost position. And while Liu has played some good shots, of the 2 throughout this event, he has been the one who you could say has been slightly shaky.
Yes, definitely more susceptible to mistakes. That's not being unkind, it's just being accurate.
Well, against Australia, he had a collapse. He's recovered well since then. Oh, and how fortunate is that? Well, if he hadn't gone in, he probably would have just been hitting the 8 ball in the side.
Well, the cue ball arced a little off the top cushion, but to go in at that angle, that would have been preposterous.
So we were thinking it's a 4-1 scoreline, but just like that, China A gives up the table and Austria gets the rack.
A surprise miss by Mario He on an open 2-ball in the 6th saw China regain their 2-rack advantage. This is now the 7th.
We got the 1 ball down, and look at that. Shot on the 2.
I'll tell you what, if they could replicate that break from now to the end, the trophy engraver could start work. Just perfection. Even the little kiss at the end on the 2.
Right, and they were left a nice angle here on the 2 to bring it down for the red 3, which does pass the 9.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was just awful. Awful. I mean, it was a terrible stroke. It was far too quick. And the position, well, it's been completely and utterly botched.
And that was Wu. We were saying has been the rock here. That is a glaring error from Wu Jiaqing.
Attention call.
It's not that he was playing into a small zone there either, because the 3 passes the 9, no trouble whatsoever.
All shot. Ball in hand.
And they're nowhere near the escape.
Start the clock, please.
Back to back. 2 horrors. Obviously he was trying to hit the red 3 ball on the left-hand side as we were looking at the table there, to take it up table and take the cue ball back into the safe zone at the other end of the table, but to miss it completely. Wow.
Well, the only consolation for China is the 6 ball is touching the
Attention
9.
call.
You see it there, so they'll have to break that up.
Just looking from the overhead shot, I don't think the 6-9 combination is on from there. Of course, the 6-8 combination would be, if he can drop straight in behind it. Broke it up. Lovely stuff.
That could be a game changer right there, that maneuver. Fantastic. So note it down, botched position from Wu Jiaqing. And there was really no excuse for that one.
Yes, and it wasn't just a roll or 2 out, it was several inches out. A pleasant surprise, I'm sure, for the Austrians. As indeed was Liu failing to escape the self-imposed snooker. Or at least the partner-imposed snooker.
Well, 4-3 now.
Welcome back to Shanghai in the final of the 2018 World Cup of Pool, where China A narrowly lead Austria 4-3 in the race to 10. This is now the 8th. Commentary from Phil Yates, Alex Lely and Ted Lerner.
But that's what they want, the wing ball down. They like that. The 1 passing the side pocket and coming back up table. And there you see the shot on the 1. 2 is out in the open.
It's a super split. I'm loath to say it should be 4-4 after what happened. Just a dead screw back. That was all that would be required if they were.
Well, they've used their extension right away here. They're mapping out the entire rack.
Applause, but Ouschan drops his shoulders a little. Wanted to be on the other side of the blue. Didn't screw back quite enough.
Just to shoot.
Not on a sixpence, but okay. Especially considering the time clock was running down and they'd already taken their extension. We haven't seen a time foul here at all during the tournament. What we have seen, though, is players forced into taking on shots quickly. Those beeps can get in the head.
You notice that earlier they had bad position several balls ago, and they're struggling just a bit with the position since then. This often happens in 9-ball. Wow. Having to thread it through the 8 and the 9. Now they're back on track.
Well, if you thought it was a road map at the start, you were mistaken. A few B roads have been taken here. Now, though, back on the highway.
Well, they were struggling with the position. We thought they had it back. Now they've lost it again.
Tantalising. Taking on the bank.
No. And he's left it on the rail. That is a major disappointment to have to do all that work and then take a seat with just 1 ball left on the table.
Extension call.
That was the positional shot that stopped them potting the 9 conventionally. And now the Chinese shot maker. Wu. Length of the table, bang Ted.
Wouldn't be surprised. This guy, he takes on many daring shots. Amazing. Just amazing.
To win big tournaments, you need inspired moments. And Jiaqing is absolutely made. He was born for them. Fantastic shot. China halfway to victory.
In the ninth, a safety by Mario He left the one ball in a tricky position. After nearly 4 minutes and 7 attempts, it was finally released. But a tricky jump shot by Albin Ouschan then opened the table to China, allowing them to claim another rack.
They led 3-1, they led 4-2, but now for the first time in the match, it's a 3-rack gap.
We rejoin play for the 10th.
In cue sports, the balls obviously are inanimate objects, but they do tend to kick you when you're down.
China will want to kick on from here. In a funny way, the pressure can heighten when you're up in the score, when you're leading. This is a great shot. Look at the setup. Look at the setup. Jiaqing is playing this tournament, the doubles format, as if he were to play with his uncle or father. You know, you have those father-son tournaments where you always try to superposition the ball for your partner. He's really making the best of every shot. Trying to put Liu Haitao, who has looked a little weak here and there, as good as possible. Oh yeah, look at the one ball. Wouldn't be the first time to happen. As if there were a goblin in the pocket, spitting it out.
I wondered why everyone was laughing, and then I realised when I saw the replay how close China A came to what would have been a heart-stopping moment.
There's a clip on YouTube, a Matchroom World Championship, some 10 years back, where Efren Reyes plays Thomas Kaplan from Poland, and it happens twice in a row. First Efren, then Kaplan, because the ball really does come out of the pocket and sits up.
Well, it actually happened in a very important golf tournament many years ago. A poor fellow called Joe Daly in the PGA Tour qualifying school actually holed a small putt. It went right into the hole. He bent down to pick it up, and up it popped. And he missed getting his card by a single stroke.
Well, a stroke of luck for Rajan Dahl in the World Pool Masters 2005 in Doncaster. Roman Hubler was, his opponent, was ready to get to the hill, sank the 8 ball, and just in the same way it came back out. Rajan Dahl won the match, won the tournament.
Providence. The Chinese beat goes on. 7-3 now. And the Austrian hold on this title that looked like being weakened in the semi-final. Again, looks like being weakened in the final.
Welcome back to Shanghai for the final of the 2018 World Cup of Pool. After 10 racks, China A have established a commanding 7-3 lead over the defending champions Austria, needing just 3 more racks to secure the title. This is rack 11, Alex Lely picks up the action.
Look at that. Look at the result. Look at the result. 2 balls in. Perfect position on the 3 ball. Quality.
They've already broken and run out 3 times in this match, China A. Every chance this will be the 4th.
Now, Jiaqing, 13 years ago, we've mentioned it a couple of times. Aged 16, he won the world title both in 9-ball and both in 8-ball. A monster, absolute class, one of the best, super shot maker. But it has to be said, he has underachieved. Often goes deep in tournaments. But this evening he has a chance to win his 3rd world title. He's made so many great recovery shots. Houdini would suit him as a nickname.
Over the years in this tournament, we've seen many a dominant partner.
Extension called.
But I don't think we've ever seen one who has contributed as much as Wu.
It's unbelievable. I was talking to Niels Veijen yesterday, mentioning that Kevin Chen might have been the best player until the semi-finals. But he mentioned this, that Wu Jiaqing has had to carry his partner the whole tournament. Not only having to recover from difficult positions, but also having to digest the frustration that came with the mistakes from Liu Haitao.
All of the other players hold him in very high regard. A player's player.
And made it look easy to get to that 5-ball. It's that shot on the 1 on the previous rack. That extra concentration on the break in this rack. To make sure, to make absolutely sure that they keep Austria in the ropes.
That was nicely played with a touch of check side from Liu. And for Austria, the noose tightens. 8-3, back-to-back break and run-outs. China A in stroke, in the zone, and 2 racks away from capturing the title.
If it's supposed to be having the run of the ball, getting perfect positions on the lowest numbered ball. Easy to come around to 6-9 for position on the 2. The passage between the 7 and 9 for the 3 ball. And the problem ball, that 6, close to the 3. So they have it cut out. Still need to bump that 6 ball out. But preparing the solution will be relatively easy. Stop shot, we'll have the cue ball slide over a couple of inches. That will give the angle on the 3 to open that 6-9 cluster. Depends on the exact angle, either top spin nudge the 9 out or stun a half ball contact on the 6.
Extension call.
The former would be the easier shot, but it depends on the angle. Nicely done.
I'll tell you what, I bet China A wish this was a race to 9. It would be over.
Scintillating scenes in Shanghai in the final showdown of this year's World Cup of Pool. What a clinic. Actually, this is their best pool from the tournament. I mean, stringing racks together. In all the matches, their run broke down early. But here they're really pushing on.
You're right. Their best standard when it matters most.
Very much a snooker setup. He's a national champion. Used to be a snooker player, Liu Haitao. Hits the ball nice and clean. Really here an assisting lieutenant to the master, Jiaqing, the king here in the arena.
9-3. China A standing on the verge of a famous victory.
Of beauty. Payday. Go get your money.
Not there yet, but can you imagine getting to the winning line in a major final like this with 4 consecutive break-in runouts?
Well, that's almost identical to how he claimed his World 9-ball trophy. He was down against Kuo and ran 5 on the spin.
It was in the stars.
They fought hard. They fought hard. They had some grueling deciders to win. Started all with that deciding finish against Estonia. Nothing came easy. Yesterday, Spain went down to the wire. But they're in position, 5 shots left. No problems on the table. And then it's a 60K payday. Cha-ching, I say.
Mark Maggi missed the 5 ball in the decider against Estonia. Otherwise, China A would have been out in the first round. They survived an implosion against Australia. 6-0 up. The Aussies got it back to 6-4. But they won 7-4, did China A. Then just scraped past Spain. Battled through against Chinese Taipei. And now 3 balls away from being crowned World Cup of Pool champions.
He creamed that 6 ball in along the rail, never touching it. On the money.
Don't take anything for granted. Wang Ming will tell you that. Wu and Liu have been the two players who've combined to give China their 3rd victory in the World Cup of Pool.
So China become only the 2nd team to lift the famous trophy for the 3rd time, joining the Philippines at the top table of Team 9-ball. And with 10-3, the biggest winning margin in the event's race to 10 era, they will surely be the team to beat.